Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the last part of this chapter, that is urine and kidney function regulation and diseases. Juxtaglomerular apparatus. When the blood pressure and the sodium concentration gets decreased, in juxtaglomerular apparatus cells of kidney secrete enzyme which is known as renin. But we can say the blood pressure and the sodium concentration, so which enters inside the blood, that means the renin, which is responsible for the regulation, that is osmoregulation of the salts in the blood. When renin is secreted in the blood, the liver secretes inactive hormone angiotensinogen, which is activated by the renin to produce angiotensin 1. So the lungs produce angiotensin converting enzyme by which angiotensin 1 converted to angiotensin 2. So here the kidney, liver and the lungs, they functions coordinately. Angiotensin 2 increase the force of heartbeat and constrict arterioles by which the blood pressure is increased. Again the diameter of a tube when decreased, then pressure is increased. That pattern is again applicable here. Angiotensin 2 also increases blood volume by two ways. Firstly, it stimulates proximal convoluted tubule to absorb more sodium and water. So that's why, because of the absorption of more water and more iron in it, the amount of blood will increase. And the second one, that is angiotensin 2 stimulates to the adrenal cortex to produce aldosterone, which stimulates distal convoluted tubule to absorb more sodium and water, by which pressure, by which blood pressure it is increased. So because of the increased blood pressure and also the angiotensin 2, which stimulates the distal convoluted tubule which is present in the adrenal cortex to produce aldosterone, which that aldosterone which actually stimulates the convoluted tubule to absorb more sodium water. Arterial natriuretic factor ANF, release from the wall of heart of arteria. So such ANF factor opposes the regulation by renin angiotensin aldosterone. So system, that is the opposite system to the renin angiotensin aldosterone. So by inhibiting, that is stop the secretion of renin, absorption of sodium chloride and water, by which blood pressure is maintained. So blood pressure is maintained two ways. First, it is increased by the ANF, by the renin angiotensin aldosterone system, and the second one, it is decreased by the ANF factor. So these are equally opposite to each other, and they perform their function in at the same level. That's why blood pressure is maintained. Role of skin in excretion. So skin is thick, permeable, and act as accessory excretory organ, where the skin shows two different types of glands: sweat glands, sebaceous glands. Sweat glands which are distributed all over the skin, and there are about 2 million sweat glands in the human skin. They are more in armpits, nostrils, palm, sole, and forehead. So each sweat gland opens outside on the surface of skin by sweat pore. So the secretion of sweat gland is known as sweat, and we all know what sweat is. It is a watery fluid, normally acidic, which contains 90% of water and glucose, organic salts, sodium salts, lactic acid, some urea, and the composition of sweat depends upon the diet and heredity. Because some person some what we can say, some people who sweat much, some which sweat less, but still this is the basic composition of sweat. Sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland secretes a waxy secretion called sebum. This sebum contains lipids, fatty acids, steroids, hydrocarbon. That means the oily, we can say, which keeps skin oily, waterproof, and helps in excretion. It protects skin from infection and sunlight. It keeps hair soft, preventing dry and brittle. Otherwise, without oil, hair becomes dry and brittle, which breaks. That's why we can say that we just need to put coconut oil on our head for the hairs. Otherwise, our hairs become brittle and which break off. Role of lungs in excretion. Lungs are accessory organ. Carbon dioxide and water is produced during the respiration are removed outside the body. Disorder and diseases. That carbon dioxide and water, which is in the form of vapor that we breathe out from the lungs, which is actually formed, synthesized, or which are formed as a byproduct of the cellular respiration. Disorder and kidney stones. These are also called renal calculi. They may be formed in any portion of urinary tract from kidney tubules to excretory opening. Depending on composition, they are classified into calcium stone, struvite stone, uric acid stone, cystic stone. Calcium stone usually are calcium oxalate stones or calcium phosphate ones, that are the calcium stones. These are formed in response to bacterial infection caused by urea splitting, that are the struvite stones. Because of that splitting of bacteria, and these grow quickly and become quite large, that is struvite stone. Uric acid stones, that people who don't drink enough water and consume high protein diet can suffer from this type of stones, because high protein diet produces high nitrogen amount, more nitrogen waste in the body. That's why more amount of urea is formed in their body. So because of the less amount of water they drink, that's why stone of urea are formed. Stone of uric acids are formed. Cystic stones. It is a genetic disorder and cause kidney to excrete too much of certain amino acids. Where the amino acids which are formed by the which are get from the proteins intake. When the calculi are present in urinary tract, known as ureolithiasis, while present in the ureter, known as ureterolithiasis. Lithiasis means formation of stone. Symptoms: intermittent pain below the rib cage, in back and the sideways, hazy brownish reddish pinkish urine, frequent urge to pass urine, pain during micturition, that is while the passing urine. Diagnosis. Diagnosis means how we can find out. Uric acid content of blood, color of urine, kidney, X-ray, sonography of kidney is different diagnosis test. These are the different diagnosis tests prescribed depending upon the system. Symptoms: uremia. It is a condition in which excess or a large amount of urea present inside the blood. It may cause kidney failure. So in normal person, 0.01 to 0.03% urea is present in the blood, while in uremia it is more than 0.05%. That is harmful and may lead to the kidney failure. Nephritis. It is inflammation of kidneys characterized by proteinuria caused due to the increased permeability of glomerular capsular membrane. Glomerular capsular membrane, that is the permeability of glomerulus, that are the capillaries, which permitting the large amounts of proteins to escape from the blood to urine. So proteins are macromolecules. They are not allowed to pass through the glomerular membrane, but here they pass in the nephritis. This lead to change in blood colloidal osmotic pressure, leading to movement of fluid from blood to interstitial spaces. It is reflected as edema. Renal failure. It is decrease or cessation of glomerular filtration, partial or complete or temporary loss of renal function is called renal failure or kidney failure. It is due to non-functioning of uriniferous tubule of kidney, and this means urea, excessive salts, and other metabolic waste are not filtered into tubules from the blood and their amount gets increased. So the kidney failure is divided into two types: acute renal failure, chronic renal failure. Acute, that means sudden. It is also known as acute injury, AKI. There is sudden severe major reduction in the glomerular filtrate rate, that means the lowers down the function of the kidney. Acute renal failure is due to the acute tubular necrosis, ATN. Necrosis, that means the dying of the cell, which show oliguria, that is less than 400 ml of urine per day, where urea and metabolic waste accumulate inside the blood. Acute renal failure classified into pre-renal, intrinsic, post-renal. It is irreversible. Chronic renal failure. Pre-renal, I'll explain first. That means before the kidney, that means in the blood. Intrinsic means in the kidney, and post-renal, that means after the kidney, that is ureter and urinary bladder and urethra. Chronic renal failure, it is irreversible damage to about 75% of nephrons. Chronic renal failure is observed in following clinical condition. This is kind of slow condition, a slow procedure or slow process for chronic renal failure. Glomerulonephritis, that is Bright's disease. Nephritis is also known as Bright's disease, which is characterized by inflammation to the glomeruli to both kidneys. It may lead to kidney failure due to hypertension or retention of fluids. That means this is just because of the hypertension, high blood pressure, or the retention of the fluid, that means the less amount of fluid in the blood. Shows the conditions like hematuria, blood cells in urine, protein in the urine, that is proteinuria. So the children 6 to 16 years in which throat infection by streptococcal pharyngitis is observed suffers from the streptococcal glomerulonephritis. This streptococcal glomerulonephritis, that means infection of glomerulus because of the streptococcus bacteria. Nephritic syndrome associated with no number of disease, that is infections like malaria, syphilis, hepatitis B. So this is just because of the overdoses of drugs. Pyelonephritis, it is due to the bacterial infection in the uriniferous tubule, renal pelvis, calyces, which forms small abscesses. That means small abscesses, that means the smallest amount of obstacle to the urine. Here are some techniques which are used in the kidney failure. Hemodialysis. When renal function falls below 5 to 7%, accumulation of harmful substances in blood begins. In such condition, the person has to go for artificial means, the filtration of blood. During hemodialysis, dialysis machine is used to filter the blood. In hemodialysis, blood is filtered outside the body using dialysis unit. Here in the diagram it is shown. In this procedure, patient's blood is removed from the radial artery, passed through a cellophane tube. That is, cellophane means a kind of carbohydrate, that is cellophane. So that cellophane tube that act as a semi-permeable membrane. The tube is immersed in a fluid called dialysate. So in the dialysate, it is isomotic to normal blood plasma. Isomotic, that means the concentration gradient. Hence only excess of salt if present in plasma pass to the cellophane tube into the dialysate. So dialysate, which shows less amount or no amount of salts at all. That's why due to the concentration gradient, the flow of salts from blood to dialysate takes place. Waste substances being absent in the dialysate move from blood into the anticoagulant like heparin is added to the blood while it passing through the tube and before resending it to the circulation. Otherwise, what will happen? Blood will clot in the cellophane tube. Adequate amount of antiheparin is mixed, the blood has to move slowly through the tube and hence the process is slow, which takes much time. That we know for dialysis people, even just after taking appointment, they had to wait for a 5 to 6 hours and it will take 1 to 1.5 hour. Dialysis may be used. It is temporary solution up to kidney transplant is done. Means it is temporary till that that person, infected person or patient can wait till kidney get transplant. He will get a donor. Till then he can just spend his life on the dialysis, which is not a permanent solution. Dialysis may be used for person suffering from acute disturbance in kidney function. Dialysis is an imperfect treatment to replace kidney function because it does not correct the endocrine functions of kidney. Also, it cannot maintain the concentration of the blood. Kidney by endocrine function production, RBCs by erythropoietin, while calcitonin is useful for the bone formation. Peritoneal dialysis. In this method, the dialyzing fluid is introduced in the abdominal cavity or peritoneal cavity. The peritoneal membrane acts as a semi-permeable dialyzing membrane. So the peritoneal dialysis where the blood is not removed from the patient's body, but only the cavity of the cavity inside the peritoneum, that is abdominal cavity and the lower pelvic cavity, where pelvic region, their dialyzing fluid is introduced, means filled. So the fluid is drained out after prescribed period of time. Peritoneal dialysis can be repeated as per the need of the patient. It can be carried out home, at work, or while traveling, but it is not as efficient as hemodialysis. Kidneys are associated with the secretion of erythropoietin, renin, calcitriol, which is not possible using dialysis machine. Kidney transplant. It is transplant of healthy kidney to the patient with the end stage of renal disease, where there is no medication or not any other method is useful for the patient. So kidney must be transplant. Kidney transplantation is classified as cadaveric, that is deceased donor, or living donor. Cadaveric, that means disease, means death donor, or living donor kidney transplant. Living donor kidney transplant are further classified as genetically related, that is living related, that means relative, or non-related, that is uh, not in the relation, that is the transplants. These are the types of transplants. Mostly the mother's kidneys are useful for her children's. All of you have to keep writing your assignments. If you have any doubts, you can ask in our online biology interactive sessions. Thank you, all of you.